While we are keeping up to date on that story, we do right now want to bring in the CBC's David Thurton to break down a little bit more about what we heard from this housing announcement with the Prime Minister. David.
Hey, Arthi. Yeah, this is a pretty big announcement. The government is providing $1.4 billion to fund an Indigenous housing development in the heart of the city of Vancouver. So that's $1.4 billion the government is providing. And it says it will create up to nearly 3,000 homes at this development that's called Sanok, and it's in the heart of downtown Vancouver. It's in the shadow of the Broad Street Bridge. So yeah, it's right in the heart of downtown Vancouver. And the history of this development is really interesting. You can see some pictures there. It looks like condos that you would probably see in Vancouver or Toronto. But the difference with this is that this is going to be Indigenous owned. It's going to be owned by the Squamish First Nation, which is, these buildings are on their territory. So it's quite an interesting development. The government is providing $1.4 billion. It says it will create 3,000 homes in this area. The history of this area is quite interesting because it was taken away from the Squamish First Nation, forcibly taken away, the land that is, in the early 1990s. Roads, railways, bridges were built in that on that parcel of land. But it wasn't until the early 2000s that through court action, through lawsuits, that the land was returned to the Squamish First Nation. And there have been plans for some time to use this land for some sort of economic purpose. But through the First Nations leadership and also through the band members, it was determined that why not build affordable housing here? Why not build rental homes and affordable homes that band members and also Vancouverites can own? So that's what they're doing. It's a 4-phase development. The government is providing that $1 billion to help kickstart this project, to help with the first 2 phases. Some of that is going to be a loan, the Prime Minister said, or all of it's going to be a loan. I'm not too sure about that, but we do know it's going to be $1.4 billion that the government is kicking in to help kickstart this project. That will be condos, mixed income development, businesses, retail, parks, and all that kind of stuff that will really probably help revitalize this critical piece of the Vancouver waterfront. Also really important to note as we talk about climate change, this development is supposed to be totally net zero, not just in terms of building materials, but also in terms of heating. Heating accounts for a lot of the emissions that comes from our homes. It's the 3rd largest source of emissions when we're talking about our total emissions in this country. And so they're going to be using not only carbon neutral materials, but also a heating system that relies on waste heat from the wastewater system to help heat this building. So it's a really innovative development. It's First Nations owned by the Squamish Nation. Justin Trudeau is there in Vancouver today to announce that the government is going to become a big partner to help make this development a reality. From what I understand, Arthi, construction has begun and people will be moving into the first couple of phases in 2025, so very soon.